Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, November 17th of 2019. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Today's topic is letting the light in, especially to those hard-to-reach places, through the witness state, through being the witness and the one who is witnessed. So let's go ahead and come into our prayer and healing circle. And let's all come together. Imagine us sitting together side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. Let's come together and let's bring our beautiful hearts to face toward the center of our circle, coming together as one heart and together calling on our source. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your pure divine light stream into the center of our circle, and just imagine, perceive in whatever way you perceive this light streaming into the center of our circle, streaming into that place where your heart is facing and filling all of our circle with this pure essence of divine light. And focus on your breath and begin breathing in this essence of light. Breathing it in, let it touch into your senses. Let it meet your seeing and clean your seeing in your eyes. Let this light meet your hearing and clean your hearing and your ears. Let this meet your mouth, cleanse your throat, your voice, your lungs, also your taste and your senses from your mouth, your texture. And to meet your sense of smell and your nose and all of the associations that you may hold with your sense of smell, sense of taste, with all of your sensory organs. Just allow the senses to be cleaned, to be released from their associations and patterning of the past, and to be made fresh and clean. Just breathing in this light, and breathing it deep into your core, into your lungs, letting it infuse into all of your oxygen and all of your fluids and circulate throughout all of your body, bringing this essence of pure divine light to every cell of your body. And just let it touch into every cell of your body. Invite every cell of your body to turn to face this light and to open to receive it, to drink it in. And a full and gentle breath. And as you exhale, bring your heart center, that funnel of energy at the front of your heart space, to face into the center of our circle. And together from our hearts, let's call on our source, and we ask you, please send your essence of your unconditional love, and feel, perceive in whatever way you do this essence of unconditional love streaming into the center of our circle. Streaming in, breathing in this essence of pure unconditional love. breathing this into your heart space. And with each breath, just let it travel deeper into your heart center. And as you exhale, just let your heart space, all of this space in the front of your chest, just let it relax. Let your heart be softened and be opened. And allow your heart to receive as best you can. With each breath, take it in just a little bit deeper. And let your posture be upright. And just let your energy body lean back toward the front of your spine, as if you're leaning against the front of your spine. And breathe this divine light and unconditional love in through your heart center. And just let it shower into the core of your body. That vertical core of life force energy that runs from the top of your head through your base, streaming this electricity through your body. Just let this breath, breathing in this divine light and unconditional love, stream through your heart center and pour into that core life force energy at the core of your being. And breathe this in, and as you exhale, just let your energy drop down into your physical body. So you're taking a seat into your physical seat, dropping into your pelvis, and feel your connection with your chair, your bed, your floor, whatever's beneath you, and feel your weight in that place. And let yourself just drop in and just give this space your full weight. Take up the space you're meant to live in. Just drop in. And breathe into your belly. And with each exhale, just let yourself drop into your physical space. Really be present on the earth. And invite your belly, the hara, that ball of energy at the front of your belly space, just invite this to be present with us in our circle. And let's call on our source. We ask you to send your essence of your eternal compassion. Your essence of eternal compassion, the compassion that is the ocean that we all subsist in, that extends beyond our time and space reality, where there is no beginning, so nothing can end it. This ocean of compassion, and let your belly rest into that ocean of compassion. Let your entire being rest into that ocean of compassion. As this essence of divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion all fills our entire circle, fills the circle to beyond full and overflowing, and becomes that ocean that contains our entire circle and all of our existence. And as you breathe, know that the air around you is infused with this essence of divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion. With every breath you breathe this in, take this into your body, deliver this nourishment to every cell of your body, nourishing, filling, cleansing, healing with every breath. And continue with that breath. Our topic for today is letting the light in through the witness state. And this is letting the light in to those places that are particularly difficult to reach, that are particularly difficult to receive. The poet Rumi says, "The crack is the place where the light gets in." It's also been quoted as the wound is the place where the light enters you. It's those places in ourselves where we've perhaps been cracked, wounded, broken, that are really the places, once something hurts in a place, you tend to want to protect that place, cover over. If something has been wounded in the physical body, the body will rebuild that place and put scar tissue over it. The scar tissue makes it harder and tougher to penetrate, right? Holds it together with a stronger, even stronger bond. And it becomes pretty difficult to get in, and just energetically and emotionally, when we've experienced a blow, an emotional blow or a physical. We put up our guards, we put up our barriers that will protect us from anything getting into this space to cause harm or pain ever again. And when we do that, what we're protecting is we're protecting the light inside of ourselves. We're protecting the innocence inside of ourselves, the part of ourselves that was trusting, the part of ourselves that knew the light and expected to find light and unconditional love in this world. And that's the part of us that knows unconditional love and divine light, that came here expecting, in a sense, that we would still be in that world, that pre-eternal world, the world that is not within the time, that exists beyond, shall I say, the time and space continuum, the 3D material world that is the world of multiplicity and contrasts and comparisons and conditions. There's a world beyond this. We come from that world, and we come here knowing this unconditional love and the divine light and the presence, the essence, the light of truth. And we have an expectation inside our innocent little beings when we come into this planet that we're going to find that here. But we come here and we see a lot of things in the world. We begin to experience the world through our senses, our eyes, our ears, our nose, all of our senses, and through our hearts. And our hearts meet, and our senses meet, and our bodies meet with a lot of things that don't represent that unconditional love and divine light in the way that we knew it in the pre-eternal world. And it can cause a bit of a jolt, to say the least. And those parts of us that are expecting this love and are met with something other than can feel like quite a blow. And in a lot of cases, in a lot of our lives, we experience some pretty serious blows. They cause wounds, and we build up scar tissue when we are covering over those wounds. But the part inside stays still pretty tender and in need of love, in need of healing, with a deep desire to return to the unity, the totality of your core light. We tend to separate these parts of ourselves from the core light, because that core light, that life force, that has to keep going. It has to keep us going. So we want to separate that out, and we want to shove that down and protect it and hide it away in a place inside of ourselves. But that light, that core light inside, keeps going. That's that life force energy that keeps you moving, keeps you in the physical body, moving forward. But those parts of ourselves that we've disconnected from, those parts of ourselves need love, and they're still yearning for love and acceptance and truth, because they know the truth. They know the truth of love. That's why they were hurt. That's why they were jolted. And they're waiting to return to that core truth of unconditional love and light, compassion, mercy. They're still there, and they're still waiting. They still wait. I have a friend who was, and I don't want to speak badly of anyone's religion by any means, but she was, talking about in her faith that once when you go to church and you go to communion, you're receiving the body and blood of Christ. And she said, she's been divorced, so she doesn't go to communion in her church. And that's a belief that once you've been divorced, you're not allowed to go to communion. And I won't claim to know the whole reason behind it. There may be something that I totally don't get and don't understand. But I do believe if that is about punishing, or, you've made a mistake in your life and therefore this light is not available to you, that's the way that humanity likes to take things. Like, okay, I've made a mistake in my life, or I've experienced this wound and I've been broken and damaged goods now, and therefore I have to hide this part of myself away because this part of myself cannot receive light anymore. This part of myself is no longer good enough to be shown in the light and to receive the light. And yet I don't believe that is true. I believe that's the part of ourselves that needs the light more than anything. And that's the part that is yearning for the light, and that is the part that when we can let the light in to these places will bring the most profound healing, because it's the parts of ourselves that we separate from ourselves and hide away. That when we bring the light to those places and they can return to be in unity with the core of ourselves, bringing more into the totality of light, that this is what brings the healing. Because to heal means to make whole. And when we heal these parts of ourselves that have been separated out, they bring us to be whole. So again, breathe in that essence of divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. Because there is a divine plan and a divine orchestration in this life. If you believe that we are spiritual beings coming onto this world in physical bodies to have a human experience, we come from that core light, and we are reflections of that core light in this world. In this world of contrast, of multiplicity, duality, conditions, we can come to know through the grand orchestration of this entire world, as well as the grand orchestration of your entire life, and all of the pieces, parts, we can come to know the truth of the light, the truth of the one light of truth, the truth of our source. Because that truth is reflected in everything and contained in everything. And my teacher used to say, don't stop with the outside pictures. Because from the outside pictures, everything looks separate, everything looks distant, everything looks in conflict with each other a lot of the times. And when we stop with the outside pictures, we can't find the truth. But if we can look behind the outer pictures, and behind the outer pictures, and behind the outer pictures, we can find the truth. We can find it by looking at the reflections in each other, and we can find it I want to say perhaps more importantly, within ourselves. So know that containing all of this is one ultimate source, one ultimate light that is being reflected here. And this is the all-knowing that knows us better than we know ourselves, because the all-knowing knows the entirety of this picture and how it is orchestrated to work here. So whereas we forget our core light and we associate with our wounds and we associate with our life circumstances, our quote-unquote life-defining moments, that separates us from ourselves, the core light, and we forget that part of ourselves. But there is a core light that knows the truth. It knows what's behind and behind and behind and behind to the core light of each and every one of us. And at the core is that light that has always, always been seeking to know unconditional love and to know divine truth in this reality. That's why the wounds hurt, or the things that wound us cause wounds, because it is a core light inside that knows better, that knows truth, and it's always been there and it's always intact. And everything that we've ever done, or even the worst mistakes that we've made, can be, when we go behind and behind and behind and behind, can be traced back to that core light of truth that we know inside of ourselves. The trick is that we want to look to find the peace in the world. We want to look to find acceptance out in the world. We want to have the things that have been done to us and the people who have wronged us. We want to have them do something to make it right. And while I won't say that that's not sometimes necessary and beneficial, the true healing comes when we can trace back through our own hearts into the core of ourselves, the core of ourselves that is that existence of light, that knows the divine light and the unconditional love and that core truth, the innate truth that's in every body. When we can trace back within ourselves, back to that core, this is where we find truth, where we develop our self-awareness, where we come into our inner knowing, and where the true healing comes in. I'm going to read from Fauzia's book of the 99 Names on the quality, the divine attribute of Ash-Shahid, the witness. In the divine name Ash-Shahid, the One acts as a witness to his existence. It is this act of witnessing that nourishes our consciousness and awareness and elevates them to higher spheres of our being. The One meets us in our thoughts, our feelings, our bodies, our dreams, and in everything around us. Everything bears witness to his existence. Ash-Shahid transforms us into witnesses and makes us aware of the divine presence, thus transforming our whole being into a symbol. Everything around us becomes a symbol of his beauty and shows us the glory of our true nature. We need not have much knowledge about ourselves to attain self-awareness and witness our innate truth. We need but to engage, to melt with our true self, to penetrate into the core, and to unite inwardly. So let's take a moment and again focus on that breath, breathing in that essence of divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. So breathe that into your heart center and into your core. And just kind of take an inventory and awareness into your body, into your heart. And notice if there are places of constriction. Notice if there are places inside yourself. Let yourself be the witness to your own inner state. And as you witness, observe, like Ash-Shahid, the witness, as you observe and witness, notice if there are places inside of yourself that where you feel the walls up, or where you feel tension, where you feel knots, where you feel constriction. A lot of times it shows up as a physical. Sometimes it feels like the heart is hardened. Sometimes it feels like stress, a ball of stress. And just notice what you feel in your body. And witnessing this within yourself, let's call on the divine witness Ash-Shahid, and that's spelled S-H-A-H-I-D as in David or Deborah. S-H-A-H-I-D as in Deborah. Shahid. Ash-Shahid, the witness. Ash-Shahid, the witness. Let's call on the energy, the essence of the witness. And just let this vibration of the witness come to be with you, to guide your witnessing. And for the places inside of you that feel the constriction, that feel the tension, invite them to allow themselves to be witnessed, knowing that there is a divine witness that knows the core light of truth within, that knows all of the totality of you. Knows your truth and loves you unconditionally and accepts every part of you as you are. So for the parts of you that work really hard to hide and protect the parts of you that have been wounded, let's invite them to be witnessed and call on Ash-Shahid, the vibration, the sound vibration, Shahid, Shahid, Shahid. Call on that sound vibration of Shahid to resonate with those places that hold the blocks and the barriers. And let's let that witnessing surround and hold those places with unconditional love and the divine light of truth and the ultimate eternal compassion. And again, let's invite them to be witnessed. And if you feel the tension in yourself, and this place inside of you is willing to be witnessed, just And give it some assistance with your breath, breathing into that space. And as you exhale, just make your intention to release some of the tension and allow the light of the divine witness and of your own witnessing to touch into the places of constriction. And allow them to be witnessed. And just breathe with that. Ash-Shahid. You can recite the name of Ash-Shahid. Shahid. And recite the name of Shahid into that place and let that vibration resonate and bring in that essence of the divine witness, the all-knowing, the unconditionally loving, the divine light of truth. And let the places in you that hold the protection and the blocks and barriers, let them receive the love of Ash-Shahid. Again, this is an allowing, a gentle allowing. It doesn't need to be forced. But as you stand in the witnessing of this place, along with the divine witness, just allow this place to be witnessed, if it is willing, and hold it in love and acceptance if it is not willing. Everything in its own timing, and that's okay. And if you are aware of the part inside, that is the part that is hurting and needing that acknowledgement, needing the holding, needing the love, let's bring Ash-Shahid into that place too. And let's let that place receive. Invite it to be witnessed, invite it to be seen, invite it to be loved. Let the light come through to meet it, to shine on it, to touch into it, and to feel it. And let the divine mercy and compassion pour into this place and fill this inner being. And let this place be filled with that essence, divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion. Allow it to receive. These are the parts of you that truly know love and truly yearn for love because they've never forgotten love. So allow them to receive this love and to drink and drink and drink and drink and drink from the flow of this love. Let the light shine on them. Let them receive the warmth of the light. Ash-Shahid. Ash-Shahid. And sometimes this unfolding And the penetrating and the light shining and the unveiling, the receiving needs time. So stay with this and not just recite. And you can recite with me if you like, or recite the name of Ash-Shahid. 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 And let this place inside of you receive this light, receive this witnessing, be met with this unconditional love and eternal compassion, and let it drink. Let it drink this in and receive, receive, receive. And let your own heart, your core heart, also receive, receive, receive. Let the innate truth inside of you at your core, let it drink in this core light of truth, light of eternal truth. Let your being be filled. Let your entire being be filled with this stream, this water of light and unconditional love. Breathing this in, Ash-Shahid, Ash-Shahid. And it's these places inside of you that have been hidden and protected, as they drink and drink and drink from this light, let them come in to join your core light, to become one, to become reunified with your core. And let your core be strengthened. Ash-Shahid, 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 Ash-Shahid. Continue breathing and breathing and breathing that in. Shahid urges us to testify to the divine, to use our senses, our thoughts, our heart, to look to the hidden, invisible world of unity through the outside world of multiplicity. Shahid urges us to walk through the traps of eternal knowledge to reach the inner knowledge. To bear witness to holiness means to connect the outer senses with the heart and with the inner senses, with the inner knowing. So in this witnessing, allow the light and the pure power of this witnessing of the divine to bring you into acceptance of that which has been separate, and bring that into your core light of unity and your own inner light, your own inner unity, your own inner knowing, your own inner truth. Breathe that in, receive, and let it land. Really let it land in your core. Letting yourself receive, receive, receive. And all of the parts of yourself that are receiving and drinking from the light, let them be returned to your inner core, the inner truth. And invite your mind also to be a witness. And to follow the light of truth. As in Neil Douglas Clott's book, he writes about the story of the famous lovers, Layla and Majnun. Majnun knocked on Layla's door. "Who's there?" "It is I," he said. "Go away. There's no room here for you and I." Majnun retreated to the forest, meditated for a long time, and then he returned, knocked on the door. "Who is it?" "It is you." The door opened. In this witnessing, the divine witnessing, we allow the light to come in and to witness that which is the reflection of the core truth, and we allow those places inside of ourselves to be witnessed and to drink from the light of the core truth. It returns it to the light of unity, the core of unity, where there is no you and I, there is only one. So take a full and gentle breath, breathing this in, breathing all of the parts of yourself into the core light of unity within you. And exhale, again dropping down into your physical space. Breathing, inhaling in all of the parts of yourself into the core light. Exhale, drop down and ground into your physical space, dropping into your pelvis, feeling your weight, letting your weight land into your physical space. And again, breathing in all of the parts into the core light of unity and dropping down and being present in your physical space. And take a minute and just give gratitude for what you've received today, for what you've released today, for what has transformed within you, for any awareness. Just give gratitude for that. And take a minute and stretch out your feet and your toes. Circle your ankles. And you can do the same with your arms. Circle your shoulders and stretch out your arms. Circle your wrist and stretch out your fingers. Feel your presence all the way into the palms of your hands and your fingertips, and all the way through your pelvis and through your legs and into your ankles and feet and toes. Feel your presence all the way into the soles of your feet. And we're going to open now for the Q&A. If you're listening to the recording, you're welcome to join us on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. You can find information for joining the call at joyfullylivingwellness.com, joyfullylivingwellness.com. Just look for the weekly prayer and healing circle there. And you'll find all the information for joining us live. And when you join us live, you're welcome to stay on for Q&A or sharing, feedback, whatever it is that you would like to share. While you're on the website, you can pick up your copy of the 10 Spiritual Principles of Our Human Existence. It's just a core one sheet of 10 principles of what this work is based on. And you can print that out and put that up in as many places as you will see it often, because there are way too many things that take us away from that separate us from the core truth of ourselves. And so we owe it to ourselves to remind ourselves as much as possible of the truth that will help us to return to be unified with the core light of unity within ourselves. So with that, I'll end the recording and open for the Q&A. Thank you very much.